Okay, we are live. Hello, everybody. We are with Kim Coleman and Kim White today to answer all of the questions that we got. At least, hopefully, all of them. We're going to try our best. There's a lot. Apparently, everybody wants questions answered.
That's what we're going to do. We'll do our best. If it goes long, it goes long, but we're here for a little while at least.
So to start, why don't we have each of the Kims kind of introduce themselves while people trickle in, just so we know what you do with PMPro and why you both are the best to answer some of these questions.
You want to go first, Kim?
So I'm Kim White. I've been building websites since 1998. And got into WordPress soon after that and been building sites for customers and clients, but turned in a different direction. And my favorite part is helping people. So now I work support for Paid Memberships Pro.
Awesome support too. We always refer to Kim White as such an advocate for our users. I think I mentioned that at the end of last week's session, that she's a great person for this because she kind of bridges the gap between when we're as developers, as the product owners saying, oh, that's really hard, or I don't know. And when something's regularly coming up in support, Kim definitely advocates for all of you. I'm Kim Coleman. I'm a co-founder here at Paid Memberships Pro. Jason and I started this product in 2011. Is that right? So yeah, this is our 12th year going with Paid Memberships Pro. And Kim's been with us, I think, for going on, this is our 4th year. 3rd? This will be, okay, November will be your 4-year kind of start with us. Yep. So Kim's been here.
I'm as old as COVID.
A very long. That's good. It was good.
COVID.
Yeah. So that's
came
us.
Right before, just for COVID.
True. And Sam, who's hosting, if you want to introduce yourself too. I don't know that we've done that on one of these before, but why not?
I don't think we have. So I'm Sam. I'm in the marketing department for Paid Memberships Pro, and I started with them almost 2 years ago. It's been like a year and a half on their team, but I've kind of started dabbling in like the pre-sales questions and just getting to know the product. So as much as we're answering your questions, I'm getting my questions answered too.
Good.
Yes. We're looking forward to what you're going to come up with for the sites you're working on, Sam.
Yeah. I'm in over my head on that one. If you did submit a question prior to the live, please let me know that you're here so we can definitely get to it. Like I said when we first started, we have a lot of questions. So if you're here, we want to make those a priority. That way we can definitely get you some answers. But other than that, I think we can go ahead and start with some questions. So I do see that Linzel is here, and they submitted a question earlier. I saw their name. Okay, Linzel is setting up a membership site with our guide, but they're not sure what to put in the block that says SSL seal code under SSL settings. Completely lost when it comes to edit. Oh, they're also completely lost when editing the email templates. So I guess let's dive into the SSL settings first.
Perfect. Sam, I can, if you want to take this one, Kim, I also can share my screen and I have some things pulled up to help you, Linzel.
So there was a time that all sites did not have SSL. And I'm imagining this was built then, and then you wanted to force the SSL, and you wanted to also show that you had a verified vendor and giving you that security, which most of this changed about 4 or 5 years ago when SSL became more required and more available as just part of hosting rather than paying into it. So I know personally with most of the sites that I've worked with, we haven't been adding a seal. Have you seen that recently, Kim?
Yeah, I don't think most people are advertising, trusted by such and such a site. And we can show what that is. So with an SSL, there's kind of 2 components. One is it actually installed on your server? Is your server, does your server include an SSL certificate? Is it managing encryption for data sent across the site. And like Kim said, now this is like the modern rule. Google is demoting sites that don't have an SSL. There are avenues to get free SSLs through open source initiatives like Let's Encrypt. So there's really no reason why you shouldn't have an SSL on your site. Your host, any reasonable WordPress host, is giving free SSLs to people. The only caveat I'll mention is you don't want a host that gives you a shared SSL. You need a dedicated SSL. And the reason for that has a lot to do with your payment gateway. So all that aside, the SSL installed on the server is a component. The SSL seal code setting in Paid Memberships Pro is kind of a legacy setting, but it does give you a place to insert something, and I'll show you where on your checkout page. So years ago, you might have seen like trusted by Komodo or trusted by this service. People aren't really doing that anymore. I can show some examples of that here. All right, so here's an example of what this Alpha SSL verified, click to verify. Our browsers have this built in now. Our browsers are warning us, like a browser like Chrome, don't go to this site, it's insecure, click to proceed. So these aren't really that popular anymore for people to actually show that their SSL is enabled. But if you want to use this field, you can put other stuff there because it does show on your site on the checkout page. Let's see where I am. Okay. So if you put anything there, there's limitations of what you can put, but it's going to show with your payment information, depending on which gateway you're using. If you're using PayPal, you won't see this, but if you're using a gateway like an on-site checkout with Stripe, you will see this field. Someone's trying to get in the door here. So what we did on our demo site is just put like a little, oh, it's powered by Stripe. You could put other things here like, oh, we have a 30-day refund policy. And that's something people like to put really close to where the payment fields are on their site. So you can literally leave this seal code field blank, but just validate that you have SSL installed on your server, that your site's loading over the HTTPS, and that there aren't any warnings or pop-ups coming when you kind of visit your site from a different computer. That's my spiel on SSL. How's that sound?
And for that seal code, in case our user isn't aware, that's HTML that's calling in an image. It's just an image on your site. So if you know how to build a tag like that, it's easy to find out on the web. It's just.
And then this article will show you kind of how to load stuff in that spot. You can't put JavaScript there. So if you really do like the look of those kind of antiquated seal code things, the admin won't let you paste in JavaScript there, but there is a code recipe to filter it. So check out some of these links on our site, and you can start learning better from there. So that's a good place to start.
Awesome. All right. And then how would they go about editing the email templates?
Oh, you can open up one of those, Kim. There.
Yeah. So if you're using the latest version of Paid Memberships Pro, and I think it was 2.7, we merged our email templates into the core plugin. So you would just literally, navigate memberships, settings, email templates, select a template. Let's say we want to edit the cancel email. Okay. We are so sad. Why? And you can add content in there. The default content does have some HTML wrapped around it. It's not like other WordPress screens that have like a front end view, but I think we handle these line breaks pretty good. So you would just edit that information and save your template from here. And then it'll show you that it's saved. So depends what you're trying to do with these emails. If you're trying to make them like designed or add content that isn't available, you'll see some of these template replacement variables with these exclamation marks. Those are just ways to pull in what's the dynamic component of the email. And not all of these are available in every template, but we're working on it. So if you reach out on the contact page with more specifics about what you're struggling with customizing email, but really that's where you want to get started.
Awesome. All right. So I'm just going to do my best. And if I see a name, that's the next question I'm picking from. So we're just going to bounce around all over the place. Keep us on our toes.
I was going to say, I'm all ready to go top to bottom, but
we gotta keep ourselves on our toes.
I trust you.
I just don't want to skip anybody that's actually watching because
that's fair enough.
I forgot to wear our matching shirts. So here we go. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so Steve is the next person that I see. Hopefully it's the same Steve. They have questions about segmenting and sorting members in directories. They would like to easily create directory pages based on the custom field entries and would like to sort easily based, that's the same thing. Custom field entries. I'm reading things twice. Or segment into separate pages or sort within a single page based on user selection. For example, a page of all handyman professionals and sort only the plumbers.
Right.
Do you want me to show you
one
again, Kim?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll
Kim
start it
W
off
is gonna.
Yeah, I'll
Sounds
start it
good.
off and Kim can correct me.
Is that the right
so
screen?
that does
Yes,
look
sir.
like a directory. Yes. So the
Okay.
directory, we have ways to display it differently. And when you look on the directory page, you'll show the different shortcodes. But for sorting, we don't really have anything built in that will do that for you. So people have customized this. And on our site, we do have a starter script for filtering the directory, which is, it sounds like you want to filter all the plumbers and you want to filter all those. And did you have that post there?
Mm-hmm.
So if you review this post, it's a little more developer heavy, or at least if you're comfortable editing PHP and understanding the tables in your database, because what it's got to sort that way. This plugin allows you to add a widget to the side of the page, and then somebody can sort by those items. Now, once you sort, what you can do is it creates a query, I think. We don't have a working one, do we? Of course not.
I can put it on. Let me try.
Oh,
Why
because you have it in yes.
But go ahead. You keep talking and I'll try to load this up.
Okay. If I recall, if you're sorting, it'll come out and you'll see the query in your URL line. You can sort your directory after you've built that for plumbers, and then you could create a direct link that includes the query that'll display all the plumbers. I'm pretty sure that'll work. Do you have that?
We're kind
If I'm wrong. Okay.
You're not wrong. We'll try it. We haven't used this in a while, but let's say I have to give my page a sidebar.
Yes.
Custom sidebar. Let's see. Put the page's sidebar on this page. It's probably a tricky one to use with full site editing, but we'll try it. All right.
Yeah, you should be. I mean, there wouldn't be anything to change the widget, as long as it's.
Is it like a legacy widget, right? And then you have to do this.
It should just say the name of whatever the widget is.
I didn't activate my code snippet.
It's amazing, all the little things.
Don't you do legacy widget and then there it is? Okay. Yeah, that's a new like block editor weirdity.
I still don't really like that all the time.
All right.
So I got recent posts there.
I'm not seeing it. Member directory widget.
I think it's called the filter directory. Is the name of the widget.
This is a page. Why am I seeing my recent posts? Let's put this widget up here too. Yeah, I'm seeing the wrong stuff. Which widget am I actually seeing here? Let's try this.
Let me see if the name should just be there.
I'm not getting it. What did I do wrong? Maybe there's something in the code that I have to member directory, right page.
No, it should just show up as a widget option.
I'm looking at the code to try to. Yeah, I don't know. What did I do wrong, Kim? PMPro directory widget.
Widget. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be PMPro directory widget. That's the name.
That's the one.
My PMPro widget directory widget.
I don't. It's not coming up on my page. Why? Oh well.
Well, we can recommend that post and then
work more closely on it.
Yeah.
And that was the filtering results in your member directory post.
Yes.
I just want to make sure I shared the right. Okay.
That's a good
I
start.
already shared that for them.
I've seen developers do some pretty amazing things with the directory. All the information that you're displaying for your people there are all part of the user meta. So if you have a developer, that information is all available to them to develop with also.
I wonder if it's my theme.
Your theme.
I say, aren't you in MemberLight?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's our theme.
Oh, you know what it was? It's this, I think it's the, I know I said my theme.
Because you have the sidebar, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't like the sidebar I'm choosing. Oh, well, we can move on.
I'm sorry we don't have a site to sample.
Ah,
we really should. Oh, there
it is.
So let's.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Get all those.
This is what you were talking about. All of these, like this crazy looking URL, for example.
But you can make a button out of that. And
you can make a button out of this.
That would be your link, and then it would bring them directly to that view on that page.
Yep.
So if you said, see all these members.
A while.
Yeah.
Something to play around with.
Good. I'm so glad it worked.
All right. So,
it would be something nice someday to have built in.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just putting that out there. I think it's something people ask for. So
developers nudge.
The 1,000 other things that we would like the developers to do for us.
They're a little busy right now. Okay, so I see that April is here and has questions in the comments. Before that, Chris, if you were the Chris who submitted 3 questions ahead of time, just let me know that is the same Chris, because I don't want to confuse anybody. So just let me know, like, yeah, that's me. But April would like to know about some things using BuddyPress. So I'm going to pull up the comments actually onto the stream. We have the BuddyPress forum _role track the PMP _status on our website. This would enable us to restrict forum access and forum subscription mailings to active members. They want to activate memberships to have the participant role, and we want to expire memberships to have the blocked role. Can you tell us how to do this so that when a PMPro membership expires or when an expired member reinstates, they automatically are assigned the desired forum _role?
So if this is all about roles, we do have the roles add-on where you could assign roles to specific levels. And if that's installed, when the person is no longer a member, they'll also lose that role. And when they're added back on, they'll get the appropriate role. So that would be where I would start with that. The first part of the question sounded a little more BuddyPress, too many B's, specific.
Yeah, I mean, for BuddyPress, we have integration that directly links memberships to forums. So I'm not sure if you've seen this add-on. It's free in WordPress.org. It's kind of the way that we recommend using our plugin alongside BuddyPress forums. It's not role-based. It actually, handles access through your membership level to the forums that are linked in a similar way that posts and pages are protected by membership level. There might be a reason you need role-based connections with those things. So you may need to look at that roles for membership add-on. But I would say definitely check this out and see if this is a better path to controlling access within your BuddyPress area. Like Kim said, you can connect a membership level to a role using this roles from membership levels add-on. This one is also free. Even though we serve it through our site, it's not available on WordPress.org. So check this one out. I thought we had a recipe for removing role on level cancel, but we do have some recipes on our site that trigger things based on cancellation. So it might be possible to do that. Or I guess you'd have to set your WordPress site default role to blocked, which is weird, but that's what the roles plugin does. When the membership level is removed, it removes the custom role and sets it back to what your WordPress site's default role is. And for anyone watching that hasn't seen that before, that's under settings, general, new user default role. We recommend this is always staying at the subscriber role. That's the base WordPress access that can see and view most things on the front end of the site, as well as manage their own user account in the WordPress site. But with BBPress active, I have WooCommerce here. I also probably have BBPress because I have blocked, like you said. So if you wanted to set your default role to blocked, that's what people would default back to after their membership.
If you were using the roles plugin and giving them different roles.
The roles plugin, correct.
Right. Yeah, do not have that set for admin.
No.
That happens.
You don't want that.
It does happen.
You do not want that.
I had a
That's
user
scary.
say, people are joining my site and they become admins. And I'm like, so you have to be careful with some. By default, it should not do that. So somewhere along the way, somebody has to change it to have that happen. That isn't going to happen to you by accident.
Just want to take a moment while we have large readership, because as this goes on, people can drop, but post a comment if you'd attend something like this as kind of an onboarding. If we did them like once a week, twice a month, something like that, just kind of that like quick start, have a focused group. We wouldn't necessarily do it on YouTube. Maybe we would, maybe we wouldn't, but yeah, reply by email or comment here just to gauge interest, because we're excited about the number of people and the number of questions we're getting. So I want to shout that out before we go too far and I forget.
Yes.
Okay.
It would be interesting to do something like that.
Yeah.
And we already
I
have
like
people
that.
saying they would attend. So
Oh, good. Come on over, Urban
Express your
Intellect. It's
interest.
fun.
okay, so Chris is the Chris who sent in the
cool.
the 3 questions. So we're gonna get to those questions. The first one is they are using They're using
Word?
WooCommerce to sell PMPro memberships. They have the user can have 2 membership add-on enabled, but users with a member do not get a second membership added to their account if purchased. The transaction is processed by WooCommerce, but the plan doesn't get added to their existing plan. The second purchase plan never gets added if they already have an active plan. Any suggestions what I can do to get this to work?
So first, I want to confirm when they say they're using a second membership, that they're using our MMPU, which is multiple memberships per user plugin, which is also free in the repository.
I don't know if it is. I think that one might not be, but it's on GitHub.
It's on GitHub. The first thing is you would need to use that in order to have more than one level. By default, Paid Memberships Pro only lets you have one level at a time. Some sites have found it necessary to have multiple levels, so you would need to have that. Number 2 is if you have it configured, you want to make sure you can take your levels and you can put them into groups, and you can say, oh, you can only have one membership from this group and one membership from that group. So you want to make sure that you're not limiting by your group. So you want to look at that setting in the back. I did some tests with this yesterday with the newer WooCommerce, the newest version of WooCommerce, using and the only way you could sell memberships with Woo and do this is if you have our integration, our WooCommerce integration also. So if you have that, it should be working. I'm wondering also there's a new thing that, well, it's not really new, but it seems to be new by default for new installs of WooCommerce that allows you to do variable subscriptions. And right now that isn't really working 100% with us because we just haven't supported variable products. So yeah, there you have your group. and you want to make sure.
This is the membership levels page with MMPU active. I will say that this is all coming to Core Paid Memberships Pro later this year. We're actively merging the multiple memberships per user into the core plugin so that all sites will have the ability to sell multiple subscriptions or one-time payments or any type of level option. You could have recurring subscriptions with some single purchase add-on items separately in separate groups. So that's all coming later this year, we hope, queuing that up for the fall. But for now, you have to use an add-on for it. It is available through Plus membership on our site. And if you don't have Plus membership, we are proudly open source. Everything's available on GitHub for your testing. If you can't pay, you can use it on a live site. It just won't allow you to update it, and you'll never have that license key or support. So this is, that's the MMPU add-on. When you enable it, your levels then have to be put into groups with the logic of the group set, whether it's one per group or multiple per group. So if you are using MMPU, make sure that's set to allow more than one with your WooCommerce. And then like Kim said, I don't think I even have any products set up. I don't have any. Oh my, look at this. Go away. What Kim was saying is that you want your memberships to be simple products, not variable products for this case. And I don't have the subscriptions product through WooCommerce enabled. Kim said it sometimes people are getting it for free now. Sometimes you're going to have to get it. But since it's not enabled on this site, I just set the regular price of $100. And then here on the membership tab, I can say this is part of the beginner level, or it assigns the beginner level after checkout. But I still think it might not work when you add 2 products to the cart at once, but do you think it does, Kim?
Not usual. Well, I don't know. I bought them separately. So I'm curious. Usually by default, you can't add 2 memberships to a cart.
Okay. So the cart is going to block the.
And I can't remember if we have an override for that. But also it's a good habit to get into, because when we integrate this into our core Paid Memberships Pro, subscriptions would need to be purchased separately anyway. So that's the difference with the payment too. There's one-time payments, but if you're doing subscriptions, they'd have to be checked out for separately.
Let me put both in the cart. Let's see what happens. I don't even know how my WooCommerce is set up. I have no payment methods.
Yeah, there is a setting to allow that under advanced, I thought.
Cash on delivery. That's what I want. Okay. Now I have to fill all this out. Where do we live?
123 Here Street.
I love that. That's my favorite street.
Yeah. If you're really fancy, you live on Here Way.
Oh, I live in California, 90210. I know that one. What if it validates my thing? Then I'll know that that's in California because I watched Beverly Hills 90210. All right. It says it gave me both. Let's actually see. No, it didn't. It only gave me enhanced. So
I think you have to.
Weird. This
so it would be interesting to know if they're checking out once or twice.
Right. So let's say we're checking out twice. I'm going to also, let's see if it remembered my address. This is like speed run. My children love to talk about speed runs. Didn't give me the second one. What did I do wrong? Maybe it's our problem. Let's see.
It would be something to look at, because I did it yesterday, but like I said, I didn't buy them at the same time.
That's true. And it worked for you yesterday? It says it's a product.
Buying them separately.
Okay. Buying them separately worked. Something. I don't know what I did, but Kim said it worked. I'll test it again after this to verify, but
I'll test again. And also
the setup we think.
Right. And then also to not be able to put 2 in the cart should be default. So you might have something checked off allowing there. I think that's in an advanced setting.
Okay. For WooCommerce or for?
For us.
For us. Okay.
It's in our advanced settings.
Tell me where this is.
Go down.
Okay.
So that's applying the discount. Oh, maybe that's. Once again, see, this is what I said. I don't want to get caught saying dumb things.
It's not dumb.
Dumb.
You know what? I don't think I did the autocomplete order. They both
Oh,
processed me.
because they're still processing. Yeah. That needs to be set. But it completed one.
Yeah, it did. What do I do? Completed?
So while we do
give you the
integrate,
letter, I don't know.
while we do integrate with WooCommerce, they're constantly developing, they're constantly changing things, and every once in a while, they're also, if you're going to use WooCommerce, oh, there you go.
It worked.
I think it had to be done separately. I think maybe the caveat there.
So the users would need to check out separately.
Right. And it should be that you can't place two products in a cart. So we'll have to see what's going on. But
And then make sure you check
changing
that autocomplete order status so that the
Yes.
level's immediately signed. I only did it on one of my two, so who knows?
Right.
It works. Okay. So the other question that Chris had to do with PMPro and LearnDash, which we actually have several people asking about courses and how they integrate with PMPro and LearnDash and LMSs. So I think this is a good topic to cover kind of more in depth of our course add-on, how you can use it by itself, how you can integrate LearnDash, all of the things.
So are we going to go to the one about when you're adding courses to a membership? I'm ready for that one.
I think so. Yeah, that's kind of Chris's first question was about adding new courses to an existing membership. So maybe people check out, there's 10 courses available to them. You add 10 more courses. How do you make sure that they get access to the newly added features of their membership that they're already paying for? So Kim White's ready.
Right. I'm ready.
Would you like me to share your screen, Kim?
Sure. I got it ready. So when you're using LearnDash, LearnDash also has an integration for them to work with our plugin. Our courses add-on will also allow you to integrate. But for what Chris is asking, you're going to need to use the LearnDash integration at this point. So I have my courses and I have the LearnDash add-on, and that is from LearnDash, and they support that.
Is LearnDash free?
LearnDash is not free, not at all. So when you're creating your level or have your level, so I have this, all my dance lessons are under these courses. And if it'll open.
I didn't know you taught dance, Kim.
There you go. Salsa, hip hop, you name it. So when you have the LearnDash integration installed, they're going to give you under other settings, this option to add courses to the level. So I have this dance level and they get these 4 courses and you can add them there that way. You can also add them in groups. I don't have groups installed here. So what happens is later on, I come along and I want to add a waltzing class. However, the people who have already bought this level, good job, who have bought this level will not get that. What you have to do is run, and LearnDash has this. So under the memberships, there's a LearnDash setting, and there's only one thing here, and it will retroactive tool. It will add if you've added a new course, it will add the new course to those people, and then they'll have it installed. So that's how you would do that. It's really quick because I only have one person on the site and 4 courses, but that's how you want to do it. You have to run that. And that's a LearnDash integration. Also, if you're using our component also, I'm going to show you on the courses. So here's my jazz class. I noticed that I need to add them the way LearnDash adds them. So when you use ours, you get the checkboxes like on our other pages and posts. But when you're using LearnDash, you have to use their membership requirements there, because that's what they use to sync the two. So that's that question.
And then the other question that Chris had was about connecting PMPro and LearnDash. Could you explain the courses for membership add-on, the benefit for someone that has running both, and what they can do if they implement it?
I think we kind of touched a little of that. If you're using just our plugin, what happens is you get the options to restrict by course. The problem is that what I'm seeing now is we can't sync and with LearnDash, they want you to be enrolled in the course and added. So it's just not a matter of making it public to them. It needs to go through the LearnDash process. So at this point, I would recommend using the LearnDash integration.
Yeah, the hiccup between that, I guess, is the LearnDash integration unenrolls them from the course when their level is canceled or changed. So if someone upgrades to a higher tier level of membership, even though it still has all the same courses, it will unenroll and then re-enroll and reset their course progress, which really stinks. We could and should, and hopefully LearnDash will update. There is a function in PayMemberships Pro that they could use that would handle this better, I'll say. But I think the retroactive stuff would be great for us to get in our courses add-on, at least as a tool. Just would have to be very performant, because some sites, like Kim's site had one, it would have to be like processed and queued in chunks for sites, depending on the power of your host and the number of members and courses you offer them. But yeah, I think for sites that are adding a lot of courses, that's like a big bear to do. But I'm going to bring it up to our support team and our development team, I guess I'll say, and see what we can do to have a tool like that or some other kind of logic. I really believed we had it, so I'm not sure why we don't, but I think we'll figure it out. But yeah, the main difference is that the LearnDash one is all like enrollment based. So when you get the level, you get the enrollments. And the courses one is more like, do they have access or don't they? But without that retroactive, we do still do enrollments, but without that retroactive tool. So.
And if you're using the LearnDash integration, there are features that they provide you, but if you need support, it's better to talk with them. And we've talked to them about, hey, when this happens, you're not connecting to this. So we're working to work together. Yeah. It is what it is.
It is, yeah.
On the topic of courses.
Oh.
How can you bundle the required courses into a membership offering via PayMemberships Pro?
I'll start on this one. I mean, it really just depends which courses plugin you're using. Are you using LearnDash? Are you using Lifter LMS? Are you using the native courses module in our free courses add-on? And then everything that the user has access to is all set up on the course, on the page, on the post with those require membership settings. Kim can show that, or I can show that. So really, it's just what have you checked those boxes for that user, and then it becomes part of their membership. Communicating what people have access to is something people often ask about. You might have 50 courses, but just the navigation of your site makes it challenging for people to kind of see what's all bundled with their membership. But that's definitely designing your membership account page, adding links to things, using our nav menus add-on to have conditional navigation for logged in versus not logged in users, so that you can really create a powerful experience when people are logged in, separate of kind of people visiting and shopping, I guess I'll say. So Kim's showing that require membership meta box on the right side. So of all, you could have 50 courses if they're all enabled for the free level, and then your, what is it called, dancing classes level. Those are all bundled into the membership. So anyone with that active membership level gets access to all of those things.
So that's the course. We'll create the level. So we'll say that's one beginners. We'll call it beginners. Yeah. I can spell. And then we should, and if I now go back to my course, okay, went to the wrong one. courses. There
We
it
have
is.
2 courses enabled, courses plugins
Yes.
enabled right now, which works, but.
But I turned courses on to do this. Here we go. So now if you were to join the beginner level, you should get this course right away. And I would log out, but I'm scared I would not be able to get back in.
For sure.
Yeah, you can't.
No, don't do that. Yeah. But I mean, courses is, when you think of a course, it's just structured information delivered in pieces. It doesn't have to be a courses plugin. It could literally be, a bunch of pages or posts on your site that all connect together. We have someone that did a video course and just used like one standard page on the WordPress site with that paging navigation throughout, with different videos on each section, different content on each section. So it felt very course-like, but they didn't need all the features that a LearnDash type plugin will have, or Lifter LMS will have, where there's quizzing and certificates and achievements and things like that. So if your course is really content-driven, you might just look at our courses integration that's available in .org with its own native module that Kim was demonstrating here. Or you can just design well-structured pages and posts in your WordPress site that follow a progression, and you lead the user through course-like content that doesn't have to be labeled as a course or enrollment or have any other type of features that you're not ready for.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, having both of them running there was not making it easy, so I am sorry for that.
It happens. So this is most likely a question for Kim Coleman. Mike asks, how do you recommend setting a price for memberships offered globally? They have an educational site that helps people prepare for a professional certification. It has a free reduced content membership option, so people try the features, then $9.99 a month and $19.99 for 3-month paid option. I suspect the price is too low in North America for people to perceive it as value. However, in, say, India, this seems quite expensive. Can I do local market pricing, or should I focus on the North American market and increase my pricing?
Yeah, so we don't have code for this right now, but it is something Jason is curious to try and explore, because what people can afford, what users can afford, and like you said, perceive as valuable in one country, in one economic location, is very different from others. And if you're trying to have that global audience, you might be outpriced for some people, and you might, like you said, be underpriced for others. So there's a lo-fi way to do this. And if you want to try it, you could add a notice at the bottom of your membership pricing page. Contact us if you're based in one of these regions, with links to your contact page, and then send people a discount code to use. You can try to validate it. You don't have to. We do that for nonprofits that use Paid Memberships Pro and reach out to us, and we give them a reduced fee for their membership for our site. But the real way sites do this is based on IP address. So there might be some pop-up plugins you can look into, or hire a codable developer to consider looking at IP address of the user visiting your site, and maybe show a pop-up, or maybe swap the content of your pricing page and have some of your membership levels be a little bit lower cost to reach certain locations. So I would say, look at your Google Analytics or whatever analytics platform you use. Where's the majority of your traffic already coming for, and set your pricing for that location. And then advocate and put messaging in place, or have custom code that shows that you do offer regional pricing, and to contact us if you'd rather it that way, or to give people like an automatic way to do it. So pricing is hard. You don't want to make it not valuable to you, not profitable to you to that point. But it sounds like you're trying to really do something meaningful in the world and spread your mission and support people no matter what their economic status is. So in your case, I think it's cool, and it's a cool experiment. I'd love if you told us how it went, if you tried any of these methods, to see how it goes for you. And it's something we're going to be trying also later this year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting when you have like the different countries and stuff, and the exchange rates on things.
Yes. Yeah. People ask, like, Australian dollars. We have our prices are US dollars. That's significantly higher in Australian dollars. Like 397 Australian dollars, I think, is like 560 AUD. So people contact us, is this US or Australian? And we're like, no, this is US, you know. So that's hard. And it's something we all should be mindful of, just to make our products accessible, make our memberships accessible if you're really going for that global reach.
All right. So I think I'm just trying to go in order of like who commented that they were here and checking if they had a question, and then just going down the list of people submitting questions. So I think we're kind of in the comments now. But I see some names. So is it possible to manage user access to a membership level Telegram subscription group? And when failed to pay or level is upgraded or downgraded, it changes their access to different groups. Any add-ons?
I'm checking if Telegram is a Zapier app. Okay. So I think right now your option is Zapier. Let's see if it's a WP Fusion option also. Maybe.
I'm not familiar with Telegram.
Telegram chat. I'm not either, but I was like, it sounds like an app. Let's look it up. So Paid Merchants Pro is natively integrated with Zapier. There used to be an add-on. You don't need that for most things. But Zapier is just this way to connect two apps that can't talk to each other, and it makes them talk to each other. It translates their information. So it looks like there is a Telegram integration, and we know that we have Paid Merchants Pro integration. So I would start there, look at how those two could talk to each other. I know with our Zapier integration, it does send information to the Zap that you build when level changes happen. So that would be how you apply the Telegram access, and then also how you remove the Telegram access. And then we just need to make sure that the Telegram side of the Zap had the ability to move people within groups, which it probably does if that's a core feature of the platform. So start there and check those two out. I'll find the native Zapier PMPro. App docs are here under our documentation. So this kind of talks high level about how to use it. And then here's that app in Zapier. I think you can even say.
Do you want to be sharing your screen?
Oh, I'm not? Oops.
There you go.
Thanks. Okay. This is the app for Zapier, for Paid Merchants Pro and Zapier. And then this is, oh, Telegram has not built an integration. Oh my gosh, here I am saying it works. And this, I just assumed this was the page. Okay. So it says
Kim
not
White
yet.
was worried she was going to say something silly.
There I go. I was silly too. So maybe not. How many people do you have? Is it possible to do this manual? I know that's a suck answer. Like, I'm really sorry, but when things can't talk to each other, sometimes a manual process isn't terrible unless you're talking about thousands of people. But I think we often overlook a manual process because we're used to automating everything. But if it's a small group to start,
absolutely,
maybe it's possible, but that's not always possible
Right.
if it's thousands.
I think we were actually talking about that when I was in Pennsylvania this past week, of just like manual. Some things you just still got to do.
Yeah.
Right. There's some things that people will request and they have a site with 80 people. I'm like, well, you could hire a developer or you could sit down for 3 hours and just do it, which would probably cost less than getting a developer.
Exactly.
So it really depends the volume.
Exactly.
But if you are looking for newsletter integration, I'm not familiar with this Telegram, but if there's other people, we do have an integration with MailChimp and MailPoet. 3. So
ConvertKit, we have a few others, Aweber, a few others, but Telegram seems closest to a Slack or a Discord type thing. So we do integrate with Discord. If you consider that for your messaging instead of Telegram, that's a cool option to explore. This plugin's in the WordPress repository. So maybe try that.
Yep. And there's an integration with Slack. And now that I think about it, it's Zap. I have a Zap that connects our Slack.
There's a Zapier can connect Slacks. Yep.
Yep. You get to forget. You have all these tools, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's being done this way. Documentation. Document everything you do.
Yeah, right.
So a year later, when you're like, why isn't this working? Then you'll realize, oh.
Where did I set this up?
Yeah.
All right. Next question is from Travis. can my financial therapy payments be set up in Paid Memberships Pro if I'm utilizing the Satori app to book my clients?
I have seen groups use levels as payment options. There are but if you're talking about one-to-one invoicing, I don't think it would be ideal. But what I have seen is people have a membership level, and maybe this is for 20 hours of therapy or 20 hours of whatever, and then they can pay for that. There's also just to be able to adjust the hours. But if you're talking about straight out invoicing.
Yeah. If it's like a fixed recurring fee, Paid Memberships Pro can do that. I don't know if you're trying to leave Satori or keep using it and try to integrate the two. It looks like it has all of those kind of features built in. So if you're still around, maybe you're trying to leave that app and build a WordPress site and own your platform and reduce your fees. But Paid Memberships Pro can do like recurring payments. It can also do like pay what you want membership, which you can disguise as pay your invoice membership. If that's an option for you, you just tell your users like, go here, you owe me $1,000 or however you do that. I don't know how wide scale this coaching platform is or what other features you're trying to offer. But Paid Memberships Pro can serve as like the payment engine. If you must keep using the Satori app, maybe you'd have to add the users over there manually, but it's not currently linked to work together.
You could also do billing limits. So if you want a 6-month plan, you could say only, say the level is $25 a month. You could say only charge for 6 months. Yep. Only do 5 the first time and then 5 additional. But that's all built in.
Awesome. Okay. So Sensible Synco, they watch us regularly, actually. Their next step is to bring in an LMS and wondering how many PMPro plugins can be used on one site, or if they should start a second website for this.
Don't start a second site. No. There's no limit to how many PMPro plugins, how many WordPress plugins your site can use. You might see a lot of people get like anxiety. Oh my gosh, this site had 90 plugins. It's not necessarily a bad thing. WordPress plugins that are well coded aren't going to weigh down the site. They're not going to load their resources when they shouldn't. If you're having performance issues, look at your host, talk to them, see where the drags are. I wouldn't add a new site unless you're very sure that if it's a separate WordPress site, it's going to be hard to get the two to talk together. So if you already have a membership, people are paying you, and you want to tack on a course features to it, I would stick with the same WordPress site. There's the option to have a multi-site. Some people do choose to do this if they have a main website and then kind of a members portal area, and they keep if it's in a multi-site environment, the user database is available across all the sites in the network. So, but we're talking, you need a developer, very technical, next level kind of WordPress stuff that won't feel as user-friendly as your one site WordPress classic install without multi-site setup. So I think when people make separate sites, it's because they want to make it have another look and feel like a portal and use a totally different theme and have that database separate. You're on my blog and my thing, everything's free here, but come on over to Kim's secret portal site and join me here and take my courses. Then there's a reason to do it. Put it on a subdomain of your regular site's domain and send people over there and make that feel like an exclusive portal. But if you really need the two to be connected, the users connected, and giving access on both sides to different things, I wouldn't start a separate site.
One thing about the Paid Memberships plugin, what are we called? Paid Memberships Pro. We get lots of different names. You don't want to add all our add-ons because some don't work together. So, anything you're using for a reason, and understand, just don't like, oh, this looks good. I'm not saying anybody does that, but that happens sometimes. You think, oh, they're giving me all these. So as long as you're consciously knowing what each of the add-ons is doing. And also if you're using other plugins, you don't want to have, I was on a site today where a person had 3 different login type of plugins and redirects, and you're going to get in trouble. So you want to try to have one plugin for each thing you want to do and not have things fighting each other.
Definitely. Yeah, I've seen that too, that people are having not such great success with, let's say, the front end login that PayMerchants Pro has. For whatever reason, it's causing a conflict. So you tack on another login plugin and then you try another one and you don't realize they're all still active and in the site. So troubleshooting and getting everything to work properly gets confusing. I've seen people use our plugin alongside another membership plugin because they like some feature in that one. Like, that's kind of strange. We should email us and let's talk about that feature and why you need it. Because it just, it's not the number of plugins you have. It's when you get those conflicting purposes that you're going to get into some weird things. But yeah, looks like Sensible.
If you have multiple payment plug, like if you're taking money different ways, there can be conflicts that you don't even know. Like right now, you can run us with some other plugins with no problems, but I've seen a handful of others like, oh, they're using Stripe and they're using a different thing. And so you just want to make sure everything works well together.
Yep.
Okay, so this person, I do know they're in our pre-submitted questions, but they live in Bangladesh and Stripe and PayPal are not available. They only have 2Checkout. Is there any way to integrate 2Checkout without using the paid version of WooCommerce Subscription to collect the reoccurring subscription?
I had a user recently using KnitPay, and KnitPay has an integration for some other different ones in India. I don't know if they do 2Checkout. There's some, until I worked for this, for paid memberships, I didn't realize how many different types of payments gateways there are, but everybody's got different situations. But KnitPay is a possibility. I think one problem with KnitPay, though, I don't think they do reoccurring.
Okay.
Because I had a conflict with, or depending on what you're using. With WooCommerce, they were talking about the subscription thing. I put a clean install of WooCommerce and they gave the option for subscription. So I had read this about a year ago that they were experimenting with making it a free option. So you might want to try a clean install of WooCommerce and see if you get that subscription feature. That might be.
Yeah. Do you remember, Kim, if in the setup wizard, did you choose that I'm selling subscription products? When you did, you don't know? Okay. It just was there.
I didn't.
Yeah, that's so weird. We're still trying to figure out this magic.
Yeah. And we haven't been able to find documentation with them either. Yeah. So.
No,
and then there's also, we also have a post for creating your own gateway. Now you may not have the skills, but we've had people hire developers to build gateways that were, in fact, most of the additional gateways are done by the gateways themselves to be able to integrate. They're not written by us. So, so reaching out to a developer, reaching out to the gateway. We used to support that other one. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, 2Checkout was formerly supported by us, but they updated their API and it wasn't widely used, I guess I'll say, which is very sad. But managing and keeping all these gateways up to date and working properly is like a huge effort, a huge task. So we have to make these hard calls sometimes. Maybe it comes back. Maybe it is something we get enough interest in bringing back. But you might be able to find on our GitHub like old versions of PayMerchants Pro that had 2Checkout. I don't really recommend this, but yeah, I don't know. I think maybe contact them and see if they have regional pricing for their WooCommerce subscriptions. I don't know if WooCommerce offers that, but it's worth a shot.
Hopefully they can get that figured out. Yeah. I know payment gateways can be confusing. So Ken is asking, how do I group email members, either by selecting somehow or by level? Kind of sending bulk emails.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand exactly what that question was saying. Okay.
Do you want me to go for this one, Kim? There's a few ways.
Yeah.
So MailPoet is a product of Automatic. We have an integration for, so it subscribes members to lists in MailPoet, and then you're triggering the newsletter right through your WordPress admin, and it's using either MailPoet sending service or a connected sending service in your site. So that's all built into WordPress. I also think that there's a plugin called Newsletter Glue. That has setting up a paid newsletter with WordPress and Paid Memberships Pro. This is a great guide if you like that built within WordPress sending email type feature. If you want to use a third-party email marketing tool, you would think I have all of these memorized, but I don't. Here. This is a good blog post that highlights we're having an event today. Who knew? This is a good blog post that highlights
to disable that.
No worries. The integrations that we have. The native ones we support, and then as we talked about earlier, Zapier, if you are using a email tool that isn't listed here. Another option is WP Fusion. So lots of options, depends on if you want to send within the WordPress site, send through an email marketing tool. But really getting people on the lists by group is possible with all of these methods.
Okay, so Ken is adding, they want to email several members about events.
I think MailPoet would be a great way to start. They have a minimum, even their sending service gives you some free minimums. So it might be a cool place to start that's pretty low cost. There's a import guide. So you have to, when you start setting it up, it's not going to historically get all of your existing members, but I have a tutorial on the import. Looks like Nuggets leading this video, but it's not. That's a good tutorial to start with. And then there's a video also of the whole MailPoet setup, I think. I'm not sure where.
Nugget likes to run the show sometimes.
Yeah. But I think we actually did an open office hour about paid newsletters, right, Sam? Should be a good one.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So if there are, two things to check out.
Yes, we did. Okay. So Kim White is excited about a question revolving around add-on packages. I don't know if Timothy's here, but it's interesting.
I don't know if I'm excited, but I know the answer, so that's.
You just know the answer. It feels good to know the answer.
Yeah.
No, but it's actually it's pretty cool because I feel like we get this pretty often about people asking about it. So they have set up an array of all-you-can-eat subscription options, and they would like to add an a la carte alternative. Is there an efficient way to do that with PMPro Pro? And Kim has the answer.
Yes, both Kims. So we have a add-on, add 2 words, that allows you to add an add-on 1-word package. So if you have a post or a page or just something, you can sell a la carte. Well, like it says there, page or poster thing. Can this be applied to our course plugin too, Kim?
You would have to use I wonder if it would work with it might not trickle down to the lessons, but it might be possible. For that, I think I would use MMPU rather.
Oh, right. To sell that.
Yeah, you'd have to adjust these post types.
We do have a code snippet that allows you to bring the child. So if you were to have a
that's true.
post, and you could do that. But this is how you can sell individual items. And what it'll do is it'll give you on the bottom of each page or post an option to be able to put in a price, and then it has its whole other interface. And then they would require still like a free level or some level on your site in order to have it. And then it would be added to them. The one thing is it isn't a shopping cart. So it isn't like, oh, get your level and get this. You would actually have to check out for that add-on package individually.
Yeah. So I would say, like with MMPU coming to course soon, I would almost rather recommend, this plugin's great. You could also use MMPU and just set up what would look like a membership level, but it would be that a la carte purchase. So one-time payment, initial payment, whether it expires or doesn't, and then you'd have that a la carte item whether it's a post on your site, you want to give them access to, and just enable access if they have that single level, which is different because your all-you-can-eat levels, which is, I like that you said that, would be like many things you have that require membership checked for, but for this single thing level, it would just be the one item, which would be compatible with our courses integration and all of the modules that the courses integration supports. So
I think I would like that better. Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
think about helping people, making it when we make multi-membership levels. I know that there's groups who do that for tickets. So they may be
Oh yeah.
the Sun and Preservation Society, and they're having, so you have that membership where you're part of that, but then you can buy a ticket for an event.
Yes.
And that's
That's
another
something
level.
I probably need to figure out and create for the guild that I'm working on, actually.
Oh, perfect.
'Cause they do pay for like events separately from the membership. So ideas.
Perfect.
This hour has flown by, but our audience is still strong.
Our audience is strong at our hour, and let's keep going.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't
Can
use
BuddyPress?
Sorry.
It's okay. Can BuddyPress be used to have members of certain levels be able to post to private notice boards, like reception can request handyman service or repair, and they can post feedback in the repair?
Does that sound like a group?
I mean, it would be possible with BBPress forums also. You could just create a forum and protect access to it. We have a video tutorial Mandy did. I can pull it up if we want to then. But I think the question is whether other people can see what other people have written, which if you're still here, you can clarify for us. It would be like public to everyone with that private level, I guess I'll say. So it would be private to access this forum of like requests, but they'd be visible among one another. BuddyPress does have messaging, which would be an option, I think here. Certain people would be allowed to message other people, but you'd need a developer to kind of customize the rules about who can be messaged. Are your handy person, is that a role on the site? Is that the admin of the site that can receive those messages, and just creating that privacy? But it sounds more like you want like a ticketing or like a support kind of system, which isn't what BBPress and BuddyPress are really designed for. But you could design a private forum for messaging, and people could start new tickets and interact with the right person to get answers. Just be kind of public to those members.
And if it was a group, I mean, you can have a level and only certain levels can access that group.
Yep.
So.
Okay. Membership transactions that don't go through get labeled token. Usually the person tries again and successfully completes the membership transaction. Can I delete the token orders in these cases?
Sure. It won't hurt anything to delete the token orders.
Right.
You don't have to, but if you just don't like looking at them, you can. There's probably a filter that you could just hide them from the admin. We're actually using the token orders on our site to kind of do some manual, like, hey, did you forget something in your cart? People call this like cart abandonment, cart recovery type tools. There's plugins that try to do this. There's services that try to do it. But we found kind of that personal touch to be the best one. So I would keep them around just for that. And then if you've already outreached or you just don't like looking at them, there's no harm in deleting them. The users can't see them. It's only visible to you in the admin, in the orders admin.
So that order wouldn't show up on their order list as
nope.
Okay.
Yeah, the users won't see them on the front end, those attempts or anything like that. They're all private.
Awesome.
I don't see tokens very much. I mostly see tokens with PayPal because that's where you can abandon because you click and then you don't go through.
Yep. You'll see them with Stripe if they're using Stripe checkout, which is the offsite payment option with Stripe. Yeah, that's where we see them.
Paid Memberships Pro fits every need for my community membership except for my events platform, WP Event Manager. Any plans to support that in the future?
I thought we did.
I thought we did too.
I mean, have you?
Is this, if you bring up my screen, Let me know if this is the events plugin you're using. There's a lot of them in WP Event Manager. Is this the right one? If you're still here, but this is our events for members only. Just like that courses one we were talking about, it has integration for a handful of WordPress events plugins. So Events Manager, which I really like, Events Calendar, Sugar Calendar, and All-in-One Events Calendar.
No, that is
each
not
handle's
the
a little bit
events plugin.
No, okay. Let's drop a link if you WP Event Manager. Is that what you said? If it's popular,
Yes.
we can code for it. I have to spell words right though. Okay, 20,000. Maybe we can look at
is
it.
there another one? Why can't people come up with some new names here?
Yeah, right?
Be creative.
All right, you know what we can answer another question. I'm going to try to set this up and see if it works with our CPT add-on.
Okay.
So we'll try.
You can work on that, and let's see. Okay,
Mostly
so
what this is doing, this is allowing you to protect specific events and make them members only.
Yeah.
So the logic should, if the plugin is built similar as it should be, the logic should. I'm
just going to pretend I know how to use this plugin.
While Kim is working on that, Tropical Jeremiah is asking, I want to enable going live. Is this possible? So I may not be the right person to answer this, and Kim may be like, what are you talking about? But what we do for our live, we use StreamYard, and we have our live page for our live event, and we link it out to the YouTube where it's going to be broadcasted. So that is one way to integrate that. I don't know, are there any other like add-ons to have your live be on your site specifically and not link out to YouTube?
With StreamYard, they do have an embedded player, so you could put it on your site, stream from the StreamYard portal that Sam just described, and then it would like be only on your site. Vimeo has a similar thing that you embed like a live video that you're streaming to. Those are two cool options. You can embed, like, I think I've seen Zoom be embedded in a WordPress site also. So you can just watch. So it's not like joining the Zoom as a participant, but it's watching it from the website in an embedded player, just like you would see any video embedded in a WordPress site. So I wonder if that's what they meant, or if they meant like launching their membership site. But if you're still here, let us know. But those are some tools that I would start looking at. StreamYard's very inexpensive, and it's foolproof almost. We've had great happiness with it.
If I can use it, you can use it.
All right.
Trying to find.
I know we have to fix that search because every time I type in custom, it doesn't come up.
That's weird. It doesn't come up.
But
it likes CPT. Maybe if we make the description, add the PMPro meta box to custom post types. I wonder what it's searching. Okay. All right. This is my real birthday. Please send me a present to 1 through 3 Street.
And this is the big 29, right?
Yeah, I'm turning 29.
I love that for you.
Okay. Okay. So this is an event. It's unprotected. It's public. I haven't used this plugin before. Do they have like an events? No. How do you make like well, we're not going to figure this plugin
page.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you have to make one. But I'm going to try to, this is our CPT plugin under memberships, CPT access. You say like what CPTs we want to add protection to, and then the redirect. Let's say do not redirect and see what happens. See what it does. Okay. So the CPT add-on is kind of a bridge to say, oh, what are all the custom post types in your WordPress site? Select them here, and then we'll add the meta box to require membership on those single CPTs. It should be here. Okay. So let's say all membership levels update. I'm gonna have to log out, but I can log back in. I know my password. Okay. So CPT add-on is what added this. This is not the events plugin for Paid Memberships Pro. I have a membership level, so I should be able to see it. What I'm gonna try to do is log out, and we'll see. The problem with the CPT, yeah, it's not, because it's not redirecting, so it still looks public. The reason we use that redirect feature is because CPTs add their own content in their own kind of ways. So we can't necessarily filter the content like we do other posts on the site. Actually, if I just cancel my membership level, maybe we'll see if this works. If it doesn't work, we tried, but that's like what I can think of as the. All right, so now I should technically have no membership level. So you saw that really happen real quick, but this was the Kim's birthday event. It's protected for all membership levels. I'm logged in, but I don't have membership. And I told my CPT to redirect to the levels page. Don't show me event details if I'm not a member. So it kind of integrates. It's not great. It depends on how much information you want to show to non-members about your events, how much you want to tease what's happening with them. Do you want them to see some details, just not be able to register and attend? Or do you want them completely hidden? If you want them completely hidden, you need that CPT add-on, and that's it. It'll work this way.
Right. And you could create a page that said, this event is members only.
Yeah, and redirect everyone there. That's smart.
And send them to explains how, to become a member, now do this.
Yep. So that could be an option until we integrate the two. But yeah.
Can PMPro integrate with PHPBB Forums?
We used to.
Is that forms or form? What was
Forums?
Yeah. I don't know if this works. This was written by a third party. Might want to check it out. Let's see. Maybe it's a dead end. Okay, give it a shot. It's still a WordPress plugin. A whopping 80 users using it. I don't know if Zapier. I don't know. No, I mean, give this one a shot if you are. We've helped people migrate off of PHPBB way back in the day, but if you're really loving it and using it, I don't know. I would say a plugin that has this few.
It does it, but not for the recent versions.
Like new versions of PHPBB.
Outdated.
Sorry. Oh, does not support 3.1 or later. Yeah. Read the fine print, Kim. Sorry. Yeah. We don't have any direct link with that. I'd be curious how widely used PHPBB still is. I think it's, for the people that are using it, they have a huge history and it's like a big thing. Yeah.
A language question. I subscribe to PMPro for my website from my nonprofit environmental website in English. What's the easiest / least expensive way to incorporate PMPro for my identical Spanish website?
Oh, so you have two sites, different languages.
Oh, okay.
That's what it sounds like.
Do you want checkout to happen? Do you want the users separate? I guess you're not using a plugin to create a multilingual WordPress site. It sounds like two separate sites. Yeah.
Because we see people.
Set it up again. I don't.
Yeah, we see people use WP. ML. Thank you.
Yeah.
And even then, or to have a translated version with local, but two different sites. I know that if you just want to connect people to two different sites, people do use Zapier, but I'm not sure exactly the end game here.
Yeah. Kim, does export and import settings, is that in Toolkit only?
For
PMPro
settings? Yeah, I think it's just in Toolkit.
Okay. So
Todd, if you're still around and can clarify a little bit for us, maybe we can point you in a better direction.
This developer's toolkit has a lot of OP features, so I'm not going to say everyone should use the toolkit. It's great, but there is import-export features that let you move settings between two PMPro sites. So if your levels are the same, let's say you don't want to set that back up on the other side, you can do that. So is that in tools? Let's see. PMPro toolkit. Migration Assistant. Okay, that's what it's called.
I've done this before.
You've done this? So you can select what data you want to export from the English language site And then on the Spanish language site, import that data, and it would just move kind of your level settings, how you customize emails, which you're going to have to rewrite in your other language, of course, payment settings and advanced settings too. So that's an option to speed up just migrating the data. If you have a PMPro license key with one site, just use your key on the other site. We're not too strict about how we look at that. If you're worried about the cost of buying another license, let's say, I'm not sure if that was part of the question, but put the license key will validate on a second site. We're starting to track that more. I wonder if I go to my account here, I'll show you.
Do they to buy PMPro twice?
Oh, no, don't buy PMPro twice. Just use your license key on the second one. Don't tell everyone in the world I said this. No.
Yeah.
Because you didn't just say it in front of a lot of people.
That's true. Because if you're doing the same thing,
Yeah.
It's just duplicate. If you were to have a multi-site, would you need to have a multiple license?
No, we don't. One site, one domain is how we look at it. So your multi-site would be like your whole site would be part of it.
Part of it.
Yeah. Unless you're doing like every site's a different domain, it's going to register as a different use of your key. But if you're doing like subfolder install for multi-site, it won't register.
Right. Okay. Good to know. There's some of the finer signs.
De nada, Todd.
Did we have that question about somebody had asked they're being asked for a license key?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. So we were going to talk about that.
Yeah.
So Paid Memberships Pro is completely 100% open source. If you are not paying for support and you're not paying for the Plus add-ons, you do not need a license key at all, ever. It is free. Yes. That was a big question that we always get. So if you're using Paid Memberships Pro for free, no license key is needed anywhere.
I went into a test site today with a popular page builder, and I had the Pro version, which I have one license that I use for just testing, but I needed it on another site. I thought, well, I'll just install it over here. And I went to use it. And while it showed me the features, it said, oh, you need to activate this.
Oh, rats. No, we don't want to create annoying experiences like that. Right. A lot of people, install the free plugin and think, do I have to use WooCommerce for checkout? No, the payment gateways are all built in. So there's places we ask for a license key. We try not to be obtrusive about it. We try to be good stewards of open source software in the WordPress community and not lock you out. Even if you have a license key for a period of time and then need to take a pause from that for whatever financial reasons, or you're just not focused on the site for that period and your license lapses, will never lock you out of your features. Your premium plugins will still work as of their last updated version. A lot of plugins, when that license key gets deactivated, like Kim said, they might block certain things and lock your ability to access your admin or your members or things like that. So that's something we'll never do. And when you're ready to come back to support and upgrade those add-ons, just so your site's the most secure as it can possibly be with the latest releases. So, yeah. Sounds like you can't make money this way, but you can. And you sleep well at night.
Well, I've always loved being able to try a plugin. I know 20 years ago, somebody gave me Photoshop to try.
Yeah.
And had I not had that free version for a while, I would have never bought it, because it was so intense. So, and I see a number of plugins out there that you don't know until you buy them if it's going to do what you need. So I'm very grateful that pretty much everything we need, also for developers who want to build integrations with us, the source is right there. Because we'll have, early on, somebody had wanted to integrate a image program with it. And the guy was like, well, it's a premium plugin. I can't build an integration. And I had written in the forums, I was like, oh no, you can get it here. And he was like, wow. And he built an integration. So,
so cool. Yeah,
that's awesome. I think it's a very great part of open source to be able to.
Did you see on April Fool's Day, PatchStack released a pretend vulnerability for WordPress as all of the software is publicly available. All of the code is publicly available. Did you see that? No.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, totally an April Fool's thing, but it was just, yeah, all of the source code for Pay Memberships Pro and our add-ons is publicly available. All of the source code that powers that WordPress admin and front end and everything is publicly available. So they made it a April Fool's joke.
That's great. Well, it's probably at the same time like somebody published Twitter's code, and Twitter's now.
Yeah, that's true. Not open source.
No, not open source.
Uh-oh.
So that's great. So there's, and I do recommend to people some of these questions. Yeah, it's great to have advice. I tell people get a demo site and try it, because walking through the settings will help you experience it. And I think we're offering that. Are we offering that? Where people can spin up a quick install, and you can play around.
I actually just shared it.
I
just shared it on social, I think on Tuesday. I think Tuesday was National Pet Day. So our demo site, Must Love Dogs, is available to anyone who wants to download it and just kind of have like a little playground to figure out what you want to do with your membership site and how you can use Memberships Pro.
Yeah. Here, I'll pull up the...
I got you.
Okay. So this is the blog post. It has two demo site options. One is through InstaWP, which would be a web-based, one-click, get a WordPress site set up with Paid Memberships Pro. It does expire, so you can't keep that site forever, but it's pre-configured with the Must Love Dogs site content. And another option is Local WP, which is an app you'll have to download to your PC, your Mac. I think it's Mac only. Is that right, Kim?
No, it's both.
Oh, it's both. Okay.
It's both.
So people who use PCs, whoever you are, but you have those two options. This is a public post on our site. Launch that private demo. It's going to prompt you for an email, and then it'll just build your site for you. And then you can also download a zip file of a pre-configured Must Love Dogs demo site as well. I probably need to update it to WordPress 6.2, but you know.
Well, another thing I've noticed people who come and ask a lot of questions. Well, if I do this for my recurring, will that work? And I'm like, well, most gateways do give you a way to do test. So if you want to check how a recurring subscription is going to work, you can set it up. You can use your test connection to Stripe or one of the other gateways, and you can actually see the behavior like your customers would. So I think testing and doing things yourself are just a good way.
Yeah.
There we go. Enter your key. So you don't have to enter your key.
Nope. This demo site won't have a key in it. But this is an InstaWP site I just spun up here while we were chit-chatting.
Now, does this demo site just have our core, or does it have some of our add-ons installed?
I think it has some add-ons. I haven't written down what it all has. It has our advanced levels page shortcode, member directory, and membership card. User switching. We should have a whole session about that. That's such a fun plugin.
That is.
I'll make a note for Q3.
Yeah, we'll have how to use your site, browse your site as an admin, and some hacks we love to use there. But it has all our friends. I've been using these demo users for so long. I feel like I know them by heart.
I was going to say those faces look so familiar.
I know. Some of them don't have faces. Why? Who knows? I think I had my son add these to the site, which was a fun thing for him.
It's truly a family business.
Yeah, against his wishes.
Yeah. All right. So we do have still some questions in the comments.
Okay.
People are still hanging out, so we might as well knock them out.
Until we get to 0, or if it's only our team left.
Is it possible to enable a ability for customers to purchase memberships for other customers? So I guess that would be like the gift membership, right?
Oh, from other
customers?
From other. I don't know.
Or for other customers. That's two different. Because I know we've had people ask about almost a business to business or a sales type of thing where you have somebody there and they can sell. We can't do that.
Yeah.
So if we want to say that it's for other customers, we do have a gift add-on, and you can make it that somebody can purchase a level for somebody, and they can either get the coupon code emailed to them or emailed to you, and then you could give it to them.
Yeah. From other customers, what the only thing I can think of, which is a long shot and might not be the feature you need, is the member network sites, which I can pull that one up also. It is multi-site. So again, all those like, beware, step back, don't use this. But what member network site does is the checkout on the main site of your domain, let's say, I think I searched for the wrong thing, allows people to create one or more sites on the network. So I'll check out Must Love Dogs. Let's say I added a module like, add your local dog training services, create a free site or create a paid site, $100 a month. I could have a checkout page that creates that site for them on my network. And then that site that the user has could have its own paid memberships pro, all configured to their own payment gateway to accept payments for their training services or their courses or, their membership community, whatever features you need. They'd pay me to almost host and run their site and facilitate their site on my network. They could have it at their own domain name and still be part of the network, or it could be, kimsdogservices.com/Sam Dog Walks or whatever on that site. So, they'd be paying me for the access to own and manage that site. And then whoever they can get to sign up would pay them through their payment gateway for their services, checkouts, memberships, whatever. So that's the loosest thing I can think of. This is the add-on member network sites. Hire a developer if you want to do something like this. We've seen people successfully do it, but it's not for the faint of heart. It often gets very crazy and hair pulling. So
So
check
ease
that
of
out.
use is 1. So 1 is like the least ease of use, and 4 is the easiest.
Yeah. Isn't that confusing?
I think it's confusing.
Brainstorming that one. The marketing team's on it.
But yeah, when you set up the levels on that main site, it says how many sites do you get as part of this membership. Wow. When their membership expires, if they stop paying you and their membership is canceled, it'll deactivate their site on the network, so it won't work anymore. It won't delete it, so they can reclaim it later and reactivate it later. I would probably put a major grace period on that because that experience is really bad. But, that's what people use. On the main network site, it shows them. Go ahead.
With this add-on, people sign up for your membership, and then in that membership is like you get access to like 3 sites.
Yep. You can create 3 sites on the network.
My mind is blown.
Yeah.
You can have more than that, though. It's like per membership is dependent on how many sites you want them to have access to. So like if I have like 5, I can only say like you get access to 3 because that's what you paid for kind of thing.
Yep.
Exactly. Can this be do this have to be a membership site, or can it just be that they get their own website and basically your own WordPress.com?
Yeah, we've seen it used for that. For sure, Kim, like your own like blog, let's say. And then the people on the main site write logic to like pull in all the blog posts written across the network if it's all kind of a theme, or it can be a private site on the network. We've seen associations use this for chapters and like regional sections of the associations. Like we have a statewide Pennsylvania Association of Dog Walkers. If the person who chairs the Berks County chapter, they could create a site that people who join at the main level, that's another plugin, but then we'd have a site that the Berks County manages on the network with their own special stuff, special events that are local to them, considerations and laws and whomever local to them on that network that they run and manage. Wow. So it's kind of popular in
that's really cool.
All kinds of ways. Yeah.
So I would say like, even though I've been here over 3 years, I have never tried that plugin.
Well, you need a developer.
No. You are a developer.
Well, I can. It looks like something worth playing with, but
yeah.
I like to play with sites. That's how I learn. That's why the local is really nice, and building those sites so you can play. And if you make a mistake, you can scrap it and start over again.
And I think local WP does support multi-site setup, right?
I think recently they added it.
Yeah.
I have not set up one yet.
Very interesting. So I don't know if this person is still around in chat, but Haiku Institute, they've been struggling with their site due to a stroke. I hope your recovery is going as smoothly as it possibly can. But where could they go for some help with PMPro?
Depends what kind of help you need. I think I recall someone with a similar site asking for like help with a theme or changing a theme. Our support team can help to an extent. It is not a replacement for having a dedicated developer for your site, but I think this is a good segue for me to ask Kim a question about how to learn WordPress more deeply, how to get more involved in your WordPress site and what's happening in your local area related to WordPress. So I think what Kim has to say might be a good option here to get some help and just have some conversations.
So I'm fortunate to be I'm not in a big city, but I'm in a very populated part of the East Coast, and we have a lot of WordPress users. And there's groups, meetup groups. So if you've heard of meetup.com, WordPress parent organization has a lot of smaller groups, and they're all run by volunteers and local people. So I'm in the Lehigh Valley of Pennsylvania. We started our group about 9 years ago. Oh my goodness. And everybody's welcome. We have people who are beginning businesses, people who have had a site for 10 years, but now they don't know what to do to change it. We have developers. So we try to network together. We try to have topics each month that would be helpful to everybody in discussions. So a local meetup group can be very helpful. Also, if you're looking to hire somebody to help you, you might meet people there because a lot of developers come there, a lot of site builders. So there's all kinds of people. So, yep, that's all the meetup groups. Now, unfortunately, COVID set us back a little bit. We didn't meet in person for over 2 years. So some of the groups are a little smaller. Some are just coming out again to start having events.
Jacksonville is slowly ramping up.
So I find that a great way to meet people, especially if you're interested. So like I said, 2 things. If you're interested in learning more about WordPress, and there's one of our WordPress events, that's our WordCamp. It's a great place. And it's also might be a place where you can meet other people who can recommend developers. As far as Paid Memberships Pro, we on the site do recommend a few developers and groups you can work with. But if sometimes the need is more hands-on and local, you want to look and see if there's anything in your community.
And a lot of these meetups, like Kim said, COVID did take an impact, but it also enabled them to ramp up a virtual or streaming option. Yes. Some of them are turning that off now and trying to really re-encourage that in-person event, but some are still offering the hybrid type event where there is an in-person component, but it's also streamed. So if it's an issue of just getting yourself there and attending in person, maybe you can find, and you don't have to be in any area to participate in a virtual one. I've participated in, attended, presented at virtual meetups for places thousands of miles away. So just going to this landing page at meetup.com and searching through some things, maybe you'll find a topic that's particularly interesting to you, or maybe you'll just say, when's the next virtual one? I'm going.
Right. And on a larger scale, WordCamps areas, they might be yearly events in your area. We're going to one in Buffalo next month, some of our team. Once again, there used to be close to 100 a year in the United States. It's slowly coming back. I think we have about 7 or 8 scheduled this year. But that's a larger event with a lot of different topics, a lot of people there. Once again, a great place to meet people. And there's job boards a lot of the times and places to hire developers. So
happiness bars where you bring your laptop and get help.
Yep. I don't know if they are keeping doing that, but in the past they have had happiness bars to get that help. And it's also, just the talks that they have there. I went to Montclair with the team last year, and I went in not really knowing a whole lot and came out knowing a lot more and a lot more confident about the PMPro Pro product and what we do. And these are just really good resources for anybody at any stage in their WordPress life.
Right.
Yes. Yep. And some are charged, like some WordCamps, there's a ticket fee. I think there's scholarship available, but they're usually pretty low cost.
Yeah.
Meetups generally don't have a fee, sometimes an optional if there's no, they can't, right? Not even for like Split the pizza.
Ones that are sponsored, that are truly sponsored by the WordPress Foundation, which is not the name of it right now. They don't charge. There might be just local groups that meet that aren't affiliated, and they may charge $5. I find with meetups, I've been running them for years, that almost when you charge, people show up. I used to be part of a women's organization, and we would just have a chat, and I'd have like 10 people sign up coming. So I would be there. I'd be all ready to go, and 2 people would come. Because I think sometimes it's easy to click that button. I'm going to go. Our meetup, our WordPress meetup is better. Like right now, we have about 13 to 15 people.
That's good.
We're meeting tonight. We're talking about security. So
if you're in the 3 hours from Allentown area, come.
Yeah.
Are you guys still doing virtual where you'll like broadcast your?
We have
meetups?
not chosen to do that, but there are other local groups who are doing that. And once again, I'm in Pennsylvania, so I know more things. There's the suburb group. They've been doing theirs online every other month. There's other groups who just are doing things online. And once again, still a great place to meet people because there's always all kinds of people there. So even if you're not the person, if what you learn is like, I don't want to do this, you're bound to find somebody who you can hire to do it for you.
Yep.
Virtual book club. I think WordPress.org actually has one in all different languages, all different times. They were having something almost daily. I actually had to turn off the notifications because it was a little overwhelming.
Another good resource to just learn WordPress in general, I think it's learn.wordpress.org.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. So they have a lot of tutorials there and stuff. And actually the Jacksonville WordPress meetup, part of their plan is to like pick one of these lessons, play it on a big screen for everybody, and then we dive into it and talk about it and work on it. And
that's cool.
Right.
Kind of have like a learn sesh.
Yes, I like that.
Yep. And also people, if you can start your own group. Yes. Meetup is, and I don't know if we're actually moving away from Meetup, but at one time Meetup was a great place. You could just go on there, start a group. And when our group originally started in Lehigh Valley, it was like, oh, I want to do this. And I had done the official route. I had contacted WordPress.org, and they just vetted me and said, okay, go ahead and do it. Here's your blessing. And the same week, a guy in a co-working spot said, hey, I use WordPress. Let's get around and talk. I didn't have a location. He didn't have connections. We got together and we met there. Oh. So it was like, so you could, and there was 3 or 4 of us, and then it grew and grew. And
that's cool.
So there's, like I said, we're in a populated area. I also met somebody from South Dakota. He was having less success finding other people.
Yeah.
Which is why the online stuff can be very valuable.
Yes. So cool.
All right. I'm just looking through the chat. I know some people said thanks as if they were leaving.
Bye.
So.
I can't believe I still have water left.
This question. If a customer misses a payment for the membership, will PMPro automatically allow them to have access to certain membership features?
No. What do you mean?
I guess like if they miss a payment, will their permissions automatically be restricted? They won't have access to the membership stuff.
So there's 2 ways to set up payments. One are maybe you're paying for a year at a time, and you get, like if I signed up today, April 13th, 2023, and I get a year membership, it'll be good till April 13th, 2024. And if I don't go back and renew, I will lose my access to that level. I'll still be able to log in. I'll still be able to see my account page and see my past invoices, but the content that is locked to me. The other way to have a payment is have somebody, a reoccurring subscription. So you have it set up like they paid their $50 and next year they have to pay it again. If their card fails, depending on how you might have it set up, and I'm going to say Stripe. And if their card fails and nothing's been done to update it, your site will be notified and their membership will be revoked unless you've set it up to let it try a couple times. There's a lot of reasons cards can fail. Sometimes it can be for no reason at all. So allowing another try is nice. But once if they're not paying, if they've canceled their credit card and they're not coming and updating their billing information, it will also revoke their access. Now, the good thing is if they come back and sign up and pay, they should still have anything they had there before. So if they had courses courses is another thing. If they had, other things in their account, it'll all look the same, all their past payments. So I don't know if there's probably there are grace periods. We do have some scripts. You can write that if somebody misses their payment, they get 2 weeks grace, which really just extends their expiration date. So mostly that's what people want. If you don't pay, they lose access.
Yeah.
If you want to keep them having access, that's kind of making things work the way it's not meant to work.
Yeah.
If that's the case, why have memberships at all?
Yeah, there you go.
And just collect their email for like your newsletters or something.
Well, I do know there's been some associations and maybe legal reasons why even if they miss their payment, they still need to have access for 2 months. And that's where one of those scripts for a grace period would be helpful.
Nice. Yeah.
Did not know.
But it should be canceling them after their payment fails finally, I guess we'll say, which means that the subscription at the gateway cancels because your gateway settings said try 3 times and then cancel them. PayMemberships Pro sends an email when the payment fails, giving the user a link to update their payment information to a better PayPal account or a better credit card or whatever payment gateway you're using. But yeah, it should be removing their access after the
or if their card is
fail.
set to expire once a month, there's a script. So Paid Memberships Pro does not save the credit card information, but it doesn't save the credit card number, but it saves the expiration date and the end numbers. So once a month, we'll look through, and if we see a card that's going to expire, then your member would get a notification, your card's going to expire. You want to change this before it goes away.
Next time we try to use it, the gateway tries to use it,
Yeah, so if you have reoccurring subscriptions and people have failed and they're still keeping their membership, there's probably something not configured correctly with your payment webhooks or IPN, depending on what you're using. So you might want to contact support or ask, we have guides that you can go through on our site that can help you make sure that the sites are talking to each other. One sign that it is working is that orders are showing up. So if reoccurring payments are every month and every month there's a new invoice, then it's working. If you're getting the payment but it isn't showing up on the members, something's probably wrong. Yeah, there we go. It's all about setting it up correctly, making sure to talk. Every once in a while, there's something with the gateway or your hosting company blocking that conversation, but we have ways to figure out what's going on and hopefully making them talk again like a good family should.
Love it. Good analogy.
All right. So I think Jerry is still around, and Jerry wants to know if we have any plans to add Square. I'm not sure what Square is.
Square is another payment gateway. It does come up with our developers as one we would consider integrating next. We're starting to look at our payment gateways as plugins, and even though we'd make them free, we wouldn't necessarily make them paid. I don't think I'll say that, and then I'll eat my words later. But what's become hard to manage is all of our gateways in our core plugin. Not everyone needs them all. You see WooCommerce has all of their gateways kind of modularized, and you can activate a few of them in the site if you need to have a few of them active, and they're all done via like plugins, separate plugins. It makes things a little bit simpler. But right now we're doing a lot of work to release a 3.0 version that kind of, what will I say? What's the right word? I guess organizes how the core product works so that other gateways potentially are more straightforward to integrate with. So once that work is done, then I think there'll be a conversation about what other payment gateways, and Square does regularly come up as one of those top choices, but no ETA, no idea.
Is that like Apple Square?
Square is more common as an in-person, so you may see if you're at like a craft show or a coffee shop, there's like a Square reader. So it began kind of as a way for like mobile phones or artists, or people could just take payment from a phone with a little card reader, but they do have a web-based payment system also. So yeah.
Awesome. All right. And then Jerry also had another question. What do you think about hosting a website on Amazon AWS?
I have no information about it. I don't know.
I have members of our group who are like sold out on it and absolutely love it.
Oh.
They're a little more of understanding how to configure your own server and your own options. So there are WordPress installs. There can be a lot of benefits, but you kind of need to know what you're doing. Some drawbacks. I recently had a customer whose mail wasn't working. I don't know how their mail to sends. So I wouldn't recommend it for a first-time site owner. But if you're comfortable with that environment, I think it can be very successful.
Yeah. And then they have to leave, so I don't know if they're going to be around for me answering this. I did say later this year, but Tim is asking, when might 3.0 be released?
Yeah, it's kind of
later.
July, August, September. We don't know. It's a big update, so it's one we're going to do some beta versions for testing. We did this also. We had like release candidates. WordPress does this also. So if you're not subscribed to our newsletter or watch our blog on our site, try to go do that, and you'll get notified when we have those beta versions released and available for you to use on a staging and a testing site only. Not going to put this on your live site. And those will only come after we've kind of internally done a lot of that testing and development. So
it's one of those words everybody says. Yeah, everybody says it. It's like, that'll be better when 3.0 comes.
Yeah. We've been for a long time cooking up this cake. So it's hopefully coming soon, but yeah, famous last words, no promises.
And
but you can watch the development. There's on GitHub, there's a fork or there's a branch on GitHub for Paid Memberships Pro. If you want to see kind of what's all going on there, there's a lot kind of tagged for that release. So not something you should do if you're not a developer, but yeah.
We are also actively trying to build up our Slack community with Nugget. So I think we're going to try to get Nugget to drop some nuggets of what might be happening like behind the scenes. So if you're interested in like some exclusive news that is not publicly shared, you can join our Slack community.
Perfect.
Yes, I'd love to see more people there helping one another, because some people, we just like some of these questions, another user can help answer that question for you. It doesn't always have to be a support person. So yeah, join the community.
Yeah. Cool. So that's all I got.
Awesome.
And people are slowly trickling away from us. They don't want to keep hearing our annoying voices talk about WordPress and Paid Memberships Pro.
Yeah. I'm glad everyone showed up. I'm surprised how long a lot of people lasted, and we will consider doing this again. Consider doing some, like, maybe not weekly, but maybe twice a month, kind of in a more private way. Spend an hour together on video calls, just unstucking people, which is really important when you're just starting with a new business and you're starting using a product and you're facing a lot of big question marks at the beginning. So the faster way we can get you to the right doc or the right add-on, hopefully you'll have a more quickly launched business, I'll say. Cool.
Awesome.
It's so good talking with y'all.
I know. It felt kind of like a co-working session that
It
we
did.
chime in on. And
Yep.
if anybody's wondering how we co-work, this is it. You just saw it.
Yep.
So the next event that we will be having, just because I like to throw in a little tidbit here, is going to be April 27th. And I will be producing for Jason Coleman. He will be talking about our sponsored group members add-on. So
my favorite.
An association or a membership that appeals to teams, you will want to be there.
Yeah.
That'll be a cool demo. So yeah, we'll see everybody then.
Yep. Thank you. Thanks all for watching.
Oh, when will you enter? Last final question.
Oh,
when will you the ChatGPT?
Oh, what? The chat.
Yeah. I'd love ideas for what you think would be useful for a membership site. Jason has another video on our YouTube channel where he coded a integration with the ChatGPT API to help people generate membership level name ideas. I think was that the one he did. So check that on this channel here. Yeah. So we toyed around with it. We're trying to find the right application to explore and what that really looks like and where it sits. Is it a tool on our site? Is it something built into the product? So yeah, shoot us a contact form if you have like a wish list of things that would really help you in your membership site building process. It'll help us. Beep, beep.
Noisy out there.
Beep.
He's kidding. Jerry,
rolling in.
We take every question seriously, Jerry. No, we do have some ideas. So yeah.
It's kind of hard to keep up with it though, because so much of it requires thought and then refining ideas and then the devs putting it into action and then releasing it. And so like there's a process to keep up with technology. Definitely. But we try. Try really, really.
No. I had somebody write me today. She's like, all you have to do is add this.
Oh, all you have to do.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
Oh, I think when we release something that integrates with ChatGPT API, we want it to be better than just like skinning what ChatGPT already is.
Right.
So if it's giving you an output, let's say it's going to give you something you can import into your site in a meaningful way. So more than just talking to a chatbot, but really digging deeper. So when we find that is, we'll be heads down on it, I hope.
Awesome.
Interesting to see.
Well, until April 27th.
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you.